It's also a time where we take a little slice of the Bud List segment to read some viewer mail. We get tons of mail. A lot of times I'm taking YouTube comments. Sometimes I'm getting viewer mail. Sometimes a combination of both. This seems like a classic.
Okay.
Horizontal. Dear Wilds, love the show and Brou's recent trend-setting picks.
Yeah.
Jets are good on paper.
Yeah.
Said that first. Mahomes is Jordan-esque. Said that first. I saw today that even the Cowboys are now taking his advice. Cheers, Don Sr.
Oh, Brou has
So first of all, shout out to everyone at the U.S. Postal Service. Don Sr. saw this today, got the letter in the mail, and it got here to New York City. So thank you.
Yeah.
Here's what I think Don Sr. is talking about. Mike McCarthy debuted a new shirt. It says Rooted. And on the back of it, Brou, it says stay in the present, which is what you always talk about. Don't talk about the Super Bowl.
Right.
Also, I don't think it's a coincidence, toes.
Oh, there are
10
2
toes
feet on
down.
that.
There's 2
It's 2
feet.
feet. Brou
Says
can't
stay
see because
rooted.
he's very
so
old.
it's just
but
another time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
On the
on the
shirt?
back of the
Oh,
shirt.
on the
back
shirt.
of the
There's
shirt.
2 feet there.
10
Stay
toes
in the
down.
present.
There it is.
So again, you are all week you've been on a
Trend-setting.
heater
Wow.
of trend-setting
Wow.
picks. So
Wow.
obviously, now time for the fun.
I knew something was coming. All right, at number 3, Jordan Love. All right, now Jordan, smart people, Peter Schrager and me are picking you guys to reach the Super Bowl.
Again, Schrager.
Schrager did it after you.
Always right.
He
picked
did it
that
after
right.
you.
He went after me.
Yeah, come on, God.
Jordan, I got 2 things to say to you in motivation. 2 things you need to avoid. 1, don't try to live up to your contract, right? Your 4 years, $220 million contract. Congratulations. Tied for the highest paid guy in the league now. Just go out and play. You earned it by being yourself. Don't add pressure to yourself by, I got to live up to this deal. Secondly, I want you not to rest on your laurels, okay? Because one season, one great half a season at that, does not a great player make. Remember Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts now being questioned, all right? So if you don't have a great year and it starts tonight or tomorrow night against Philadelphia in Brazil, you can quickly start being questioned. Now, it's ironic to me or interesting to me that you follow Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, 2 Hall of Fame greats, because Favre, as great as he was a little too reckless, and Aaron, as great as he is, can be a little too cautious at times, and I want to throw interceptions. I think Love can be kind of in the middle. You know, he will take the risk, but he's not as reckless as Favre. Jordan, it starts tomorrow against the Eagles. I believe in you. At number 2, Nick will like this one. Nick Sirianni. Nick Wright will like this one. Now, look, we all know, Nick, you're on the hot seat. We all know that your owners thought about reaching out to Bill Belichick. And I got to be honest, it doesn't seem like Belichick is going to just ride off into the sunset. I mean, he's everywhere. So he looks like he wants to be on the sidelines somewhere next year. So you got to go out there and get it done. Again, it starts tomorrow for you against Green Bay in Brazil. There was last year, of course, you end the season in the supernatural funk. It looks like you don't have control of your team because you can't do anything to motivate the guys and stop it. Then a detailed article comes out about your problems with your quarterback, Jalen Hurts. So you got those issues. And now on your way to Germany, you had 3 players, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Darius Slay, all complain about how they don't want to play in Brazil.
Yeah.
And that's fair if they want to say it, but that looks like you do not have control of the locker room and didn't tell your guys, look, I know it's going to be tough there. It's going to be, challenging. You may not want to go there, but we got a football game to win. Do not say anything in the press. You either didn't say it or they didn't listen to you. Either way, it's not good. So you got to win tonight. I'll say this, Nick. I believe in you more than Nick Wright does.
Okay.
All right. At number 1, Lamar Jackson. All right. And Lamar, I'm going to give you some motivation that you and Nick Wright will love. Look, tonight, obviously you're in Kansas City. You are going to hear, I'm sure you've been hearing about it, 1-4 against Patrick Mahomes. Now, I personally, and this is honest truth, I think that's a little overblown. It's true. You're 1-4 against Mahomes. but you're 1-1 against him in the last 3 years. We know you're a different quarterback than you were years ago. All right, so your last you beat him in 2021, and you had 3 touchdowns in the last quarter and a half. You threw a touchdown. You ran for 2 in the fourth quarter to lead a great comeback. So I think in your mind, you feel like you definitely can beat Patrick Mahomes, but the narrative is that you can't. And if you lose tonight, that narrative is just going to get louder and louder. And even if you go 16-1, people are still going to say you can't beat Mahomes. And maybe it's even playing in the back of your head. You can't beat him. Even if you win your 2nd MVP in a row and 3rd overall, people will say you can't beat Mahomes, and it might play back in the back of your head too. So tonight it starts. You can erase those demons, and then if you meet them in the playoffs, so be it. So Lamar, you know I believe in you.
Excellent bud list, as always.
We can start the season on that. Once we get to the bud list, you got to work through all those other lists and things throughout the course of the week. And then we get to the bud list.
Best list maker in America.
It's
people are saying.
yeah.
It gets me fired up for the season. And as good as it is, I'm going to add one. I mean, I don't know if I can top this, but I'm going to add one. I'm going to add my all of our friend Aaron Rodgers. And here's the deal: you skipped mandatory minicamp, you skipped the preseason. You miraculously could have played last year at the end of the season if the Jets got into it. You have 3 new starters on the offensive line, including a #1 draft pick that's not starting but ready to go if they need you. Okay, so you got that. You've got Mike Williams. You talked about not having distractions, but all you've done is create distraction. Yeah. Whether it was, I'm going to become the potential VP candidate, or, I mean, take your pick of weekly distractions, going to Egypt. Like, it's just on and on and on. And have we seen it done before? Yeah, we've seen this done before with Tom Brady. Okay, so it's not like you'd be the first one or a pioneer. So here it is, Aaron. It's time to pay the bill.
Yeah. Well done, Coach. It absolutely is. And he's got all the parts around him.
Everything you wanted
on paper
is there.
In all seriousness, I said this on the morning call, I'll say it again.
Yeah.
I think this is the best bud list Brou's ever done.
Wow.
So good, before I even add my addition, I'm going to supplement Brou's point about Lamar being #1 under duress.
Okay.
This is why Lamar's under duress. Lamar, in his career against Kansas City, who you mentioned, his team's rival Pittsburgh, and in the playoffs, versus everything else. In the biggest spots, 4-10, 73 rating. Every other spot, that's the resume of, honest to God, the greatest quarterback ever. The other games column, highest win percentage, one of the 3 highest passer ratings, touchdown interception ratios off the charts, all of it. But against the team of the era, the longtime team rival, and in the postseason, that's the resume of Zach Wilson. And I'm not saying he's Zach Wilson, I'm just saying, like, that's what the resume is. That's why today's game, to Brou's point, is so important. And it's a brilliant point, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here during the bud list to be what, Wilds?
I mean, against our better judgment, you've deemed yourself the media ombudsman.
I'm the media ombudsman. And sometimes we must look outwards to bad lists or rankings.
Yeah.
And sometimes we must look inwards to our own show.
Okay, sure.
So I must, regretfully, Coach, add to the bud list Chris Broussard and Kevin Wilds.
What did I do?
Because
that's a good picture of us.
Because here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have seen what's happened today, or more notably, what hasn't happened today. Dak Prescott still doesn't have a contract. And old KW.
Thank you.
Old KW was very specific.
Yeah.
It's going to happen hours after the closing ceremonies.
Yeah.
No, of the Olympics. Oh, it's going to happen the morning of the first game of the year. Well, even in Hawaii, we're into late morning. So it's going to happen right before kickoff. All right, you got 3 hours, 4 hours. You guys have a few hours before you're wrong and a few days before you're dead wrong. And the worst part about it is you had someone who, even if you find grading at time, is pretty good on projecting contract stuff. telling you for months. Dak's not accepting the deal because the Cowboys are not offering him a deal they want him to accept. He's going to test free agency. And you, KW, I do believe said, I'm 100% sure. And then Brou high-fived you awkwardly and said, me too. So you two have just a couple days left before you're wrong about the story of the summer.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably tomorrow.
You think it's happening tomorrow?
Probably.
Did you see Jeremy Fowler
Jerry
today?
will cave.
Is the point to be exactly right, or is the point to be interesting? You tell me. It's interesting. If Jerry doesn't want to do it, that's his prerogative. He should have done it, and it would have been the most interesting and the right thing to do, and would have lined up right. It's the right prediction.
Brou, do you want to?
It was the right prediction. It's like you play blackjack. I made the right call. The cards landed the wrong way.
No, that's
yes,
not
that's
at
how
all
it
what
happened.
happened.
Yes, you have to play the percentages.
You do have to play the
point, Wild.
percentages.
Exactly right.
But
you were like, oh, I went out. Was it a bad beat? Like, no, I made the right call. But next thing you know, I'm packing up my stuff. I'm saying, Danielle, we got to go. I lasted for 4 hours in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
That's what happens
I was
sometimes.
talking about a poker tournament I played in Bahamas months ago. It's one of the worst moments of my life.
But you made the right call.
I did, but that is not the situation.
Exactly.
That's
You
not
made the
what's
right
happening
call,
here.
and it just broke the wrong way.
That's
But you
broke
were
the
right.
wrong way.
But
And
then-
so am I.
I still have faith.
I do too.
Tomorrow.
All right, I'm putting Justin Tucker on the Bud list. Here's what happened last year. Basically, you got your lunch stolen from you, and Travis Kelce played bodyguard to Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes kicks your stuff. So you want to be a kicker? I'll kick your stuff right here. Travis Kelce said, you better move your helmet like Patrick asked you, and if you didn't, I'll move it for you. Takes his helmet, chucks it. Justin, if you want to help the Ravens win, here's what you need to do. Warm up however you want. And maybe if you want to get in the Chiefs' heads, go over and warm up right next to Patrick Mahomes. Coach, you're not above a little gamesmanship. Do you think Justin Tucker could just, first of all, if he wants to, should he warm up wherever he wants to? Or now is he worried? He's already couching his comments. He's afraid of Travis Kelce and the New Heights podcast.
I think he should stay away from Mahomes and work over towards the other team's kicker and just keep taking his spot away from him.
From Butker?
Yeah.
Butker might give him a lecture.
That's what let's stay within your group and mess with that guy, and then the game comes down to a game-winning field goal. He lines up, Tucker's in his head.
Yeah, he should have done that in the first place. Stay with the kickers. Because here's the
he's
question.
allowed to go where he's allowed to go on both sides.
But as that guy's lining up, kick his tee out of the way, put your tee down.
That's some shit.
That would be
Here's my question about your theory, Wiles, because you want him to go out there and get in front of Mahomes
instigate.
a little bit. What if Kelce, gives him a little shove, or it's a little more than last year?
I fall down.
If you challenge him, you got to be ready to defend yourself.
No.
Because then you really look bad if you just run.
You don't
Justin Tucker.
I like the idea of Justin
I can't.
Tucker
I'm not going to
running.
stand up to Travis Kelce.
Well, why you always have to count the
All right,
cost.
I'm now
If I go do this, what
That's
happens if he challenges?
You know what I would do?
Am I ready to
Honest to
handle
God, I would lay down.
You would flop.
Just
You
play
I would
dead.
flop and I would lay there. And Mahomes trying to warm up like, Travis, you made it worse. Now he's laying here. It's a strategy. Mahomes trying to warm up and Tucker like, ah. Coming up next.
Do you know what we're doing?
No, Lamar, back-to-back
think
MVPs.
it's
on
on
the
the
board.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.